while I was on Ferguson, I realized that something got to change. You know, I noticed that the blacks, we didn't stick together because there's more of us. It was like 6% black.
You ever been in a race ride before in there?
Oh man, too many. And
What is that like?
well, one time we was in a ride, and before we got in the ride, one of my homeboy out of Houston jacked off on a Mexican.
You say he did what?
Jacked off on a Mexican.
What you mean jacked off?
You know, looked at his booty in the shower and jacked off on him. That's what
Hey, man.
it's true.
Yeah, don't say that. What I'm saying.
Yeah, he did that, and he jacked off on him. And so the Mexican wanted to get revenge. So when we got ready to try to talk to him, they didn't want to, when Mexicans don't speak English, that means no bargain, no plea bargain.
You are now tuned into the Bob Report. Bishop Eli. Am I saying it right?
That's it. Bishop Eli Jacobs. That's me.
Bishop Eli Jacobs. Okay, Mr. Eli Jacobs. Mr. Bishop Eli Jacobs. For the people who don't know, I'm pretty sure they seen you on the internet on YouTube. But for the people who don't know, Bishop, here on the Bob Report, where are you from?
I'm from South Dallas, born in West Dallas, raised up in South Dallas.
And West Dallas and South Dallas are both prominent areas in Dallas, the city of Dallas, correct?
Yes.
What was it like growing up in South and West Dallas?
14, this when I really got in the street. Met a dude named Charles, and I told him I want to make some money. And so this is like in 86. I told him I want to make some money. And he said, make some money. I should go around the Gambling Shack. I should watch all the old school. And he said, you want to sell powder? So I ended up selling, find out what powder was. And but it wasn't making no money. That's when we was selling a big old bag of weed too. And so one time a dope fiend came in. This is in 86. He said, man, you ever heard of rocks? I said, rocks? He said, man, that's what's up, man. You need to take this. Let me show you what you can do with this powder. So he said, man, listen to me. So he went and got some baking soda in a jar. He put all my dope in some baking soda and he cooked it on the stove. I'm looking. So when he got through, he said, man, this they cooking. So, man, pour that water out. That rock with that little. I said, man, I'm finna kill you, man. He said, no, man. I said, hey, man, you done messed all my dope. Where my dope at? He says, right here, man. I said, man, I'm finna kill you, bro, like that. He said, no, this was it. So he said, give me a couple minutes, man. He said, man, I'm gonna bring some customers. Man, I looked up. Later on that day, he brought, people was buying. And people was buying drugs, right? Coming in there. He just chopped them up. Little rocks to sell them for $10, $20. Before you know it, man, I had like about 10 to 15 people coming in, and they was buying it. And so we like that night, all night, you know what I'm saying? That little dope fiend, he bring all kind of people. And so the next day, I sold out the rocks. I called Charles. I said, Charles, I need some more dope. He said, what's up? I said, man, I'm out. I said, I'm selling rocks. And everybody like, what is rocks? I said, man, this dope fiend showed me how to cook it.
So you know how to cook it when you got it from Charles?
I ain't know how to cook it. I just know about powder.
Did anybody know how to cook it?
Nobody know. A dope fiend, he knew about it. And so, man, he bought me some more dope. I ended up cooking it. I learned how to cook it then. One time I messed up, man. The jar got too hot and it bust in the pot. But I still saved the dope though. I got the glass out of it. Right. So this time you got to know the temperature of it. And man, we went to selling, and before you know it, we went from a big 8 to an ounce. Went for an ounce to I'm talking about a half a big. And man, it just went more and more. So, but anyway, I was around 15 then. And
how'd you end up in prison, Bishop?
I'm gonna get to that. I ended up meeting these dudes out of LA, California. And so my partner, little Bobby, he met this rolling six. He named Kokomo. Anybody that's from the 60's flowing. They should know Joe. And he got a brother named H. Rat. So we went down to California. And so it's these two twins. They sell dope down there. They had a car lot. So Joe, he was like, hey, I want y'all to meet these niggas and buy some keys from them. And then we gonna jack them niggas. We gonna gank them niggas. That's how they talk. And I said, I'm like, gank them niggas. I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I just, but so anyway, Bobby, my power partner, he crazy. He don't care. Okay. And so I didn't do it. But Bobby and them, I think they got him and bought a couple keys from and turned around and robbed him. So anyway, so Joe, he said he want to come to Texas. And so he came to Texas. We showed him around Oak Cliff. He was the man, you know what I'm saying? And so one day we got pulled over and by the police. And he had two keys. I'm gonna tell you what they used to do in LA. They used to take the keys. Joe should keep us with us. We don't ride. When somebody want to buy a dope, we throw it in the attic and we ride around. Then when they ready to buy it, we'll go get it. But he never let nobody out the car. We got to be with him the whole time. But this time, the police pulled us over. We got both keys in the car. So I decide, dang, I got to get away. And so I said, man, what we gonna do? Police, he's back there. I said, man, y'all give me the dope. Man, they gave me both keys. I put it in my shirt, tied it, put them pin, boom. Police told us step out, but they had them horns back then.
Right.
Step out the car. So we step out the car. I caught out. Boom. Police don't know. They don't know what to do. I catch out. Man, I ran into this house. And when I ran into the house, the door was open. I bust some dope. Dude jump, hey man, what you doing here? I said, hold up, man, hold up. He said, man, you better get out of my house, man. You better get out of my house. I said, hold up, brother. I said, listen. Then one dude walked from the back. He said, man, you little Eli? I said, yeah. He said, man, I went to school with you, man. What you doing in my house? I said, man, say, let me explain to you, man. Please let me explain to you. He said, what's up, man? Who you running from? I said, man, listen, bro. Please let me explain. I said, can I talk to you, man? He said, come on, man. What's up, man? My mama gonna get us. I said, man, I just need a shirt. Can you give me a shirt? And I'll leave. So he said, what kind of shirt? I said, any kind of shirt. So he gave me a shirt. I'm taking my time because I know I can't go outside.
Right.
I hear the helicopter.
Right.
So I said, he said, man, it's police all over. I said, man, police trying to get me, man. Can you just go outside, make sure it's safe? Man, the joker went outside for me. I said, go down. He come back in. Man, I don't know, they everywhere. I said, man, can you give me a few minutes, man? I said, man, I got some money too, man. I said, man, let me give you $100. He said, you gonna give me $100? Yeah. He said, just chill right here in the room. So I sat in the room. I knew I was safe. And so they stayed out there about an hour trying to find me. But my partner and them, they ended up getting away because of me. They trying to find me. And so guess what I do, Bob? I took the dope back. Most dudes would have kept the dope and
Right.
I act like they got busted with it. I came back to Joe. I said, hey, Joe. I said, well, Joe, I get back to UN State Department. I said, man, I got your dope. He said, I heard you got busted. I said, nah, man, I got away, man. He said, you brought the dope back? I said, yeah. He said, nigga, you different. I said, no. This ain't my dope. Man, he trusts me. From that point on, him and Bobby was cool. I became his boy. He used to tell me, he said, you know what? I don't trust Bobby. You know what I'm saying? I like you, but Bobby, and that nigga, he'll try to gank me, I said, I said, but Joe, you cool. Man, that man gave me everything. I ain't had to get nothing. So Joe started blowing up in Dallas. And so, before you know it, I ended up with Joe, but I met Charles again, how I learned how to do rocks. But this time I go to Myers in South Dallas. Ray Charles across the street from me. But I don't know how Ray Charles drugs look. So I told one of my guys, I'm like about 15 and a half now. So I told my boy, I said, go over there and buy these rocks and see how big they are. So he had 3 in here, so I made mine real big. So my trap started booming, people
Right.
started coming. And then Ray Charles had a spot over here, had one on Jeffrey. And so I said, let's make our rock bigger. So I got caught up with another dude named Fats and Johnny. They was big time. And I met them, cause when you're in this game, you're gonna meet different drug dealers.
Right.
And so I remember Johnny, he got smart with me one day. I came with Fats and he said, and this ain't snitching because it's over with.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a murder, I wouldn't be saying no name. And y'all know what I'm talking about anyway. So I came in, Fats gonna say, take your jury off. I said, for what? He said, Johnny don't want nobody with jury come around him. So I took my jury off, came in there, and I find out Johnny was the man. And so I said, man, I need to get close to Johnny. But Johnny would never want to talk to me. You tell me if I want anything, I deal with Fats. And so me and Fats got cool. So Fats started fronting me all kind of stuff without putting nothing down. And I was just flipping. And after we cut them keys up, the crumbs, he used to give me all the crumbs. They had a bunch of keys. And I used to make like about 30, 40,000 just off the crumbs. And but I had a gambling habit too. So I ended up opening 3, 4 more traps. And now you gotta remember,
They said 15.
15 and a half. I'm in the game strong. So I got all this money at 15 and a half. I got too much money for a kid. So I bought a Cadillac I couldn't drive. I had my homeboy and them driving around for me. And so they ended up, Bobby and Gus, gangster, they were driving my car. So, but every time I asked them to take me somewhere, I had to do it on their time. So they run around getting them girls and like this day car. So one day I came outside that Cadillac. I had bought a Cadillac from Clint out of West Dallas. Man, I got in that Cadillac. I said, man, I'm finna see, can I drive? I got in that Cadillac, I crunk it up. I did know one thing. If you don't put on the gas automatic, it'll go by itself. So I pulled out that parking lot. I stayed on the brakes. I pulled out. I was sitting on 2 pillars. Cause I'm little. I drove, got on Polk. I looked around, got on the street, and I just knew that I got to keep up with the other cars and stay in my lane. So I drove down a little bit. I thought I got it. I'd hit another corner. Then I said, if I get on this freeway, I got it. Man, I took a risk out on that freeway, and I was just keeping up with the other cars. Man, I turned back around and drove back around, came back to the apartment. Oh, they should have let me know. I came up now. I had my head turned to the side. Ow, baby, we up now. They looking at me like, oh, man, he can drive, man. Oh, man, who taught him how to drive? I said, oh, y'all can't be up in my car no more. I'm up thinking I'm the key now. And so I did that. And then I started.
Bishop, listen, man. How you end up in prison?
We finna get to that.
We trying to get to that.
Then we're gonna get to that. So I'm just trying to tell you stuff. So I end up doing that. So I started having money. I started having real money. It was me, Ray Charles, Anthony Ray King, Big Ken.
They say when them Jamaicans came, it was bloody. And
well, the Jamaican came on Miles. They killed like a couple of my homeboys, put them in the tub. One of them played dead. And they did that, but we ended up, getting a little rowdy. But I'm getting money.
Right.
And so everybody running around acting like they Jamaica. You're star to the bomb gladiator. Batty boy, everybody talking Jamaica because they were scared of Jamaica. But we were, we ain't scared of nobody. This our hood. But we getting money. So some of our homies started kicking with them because they had the drugs.
Right.
But we had our own drugs. So anyway, I was getting money. And I kind of went to Oak Cliff. I came back to the hood, man. So when I came back to the hood, my partner was standing there. I want to let everybody know because I'm having money that ain't changed. So I bought me an L-Dog like Ray Charles. L-Dog was like an Escalade in 2026. You had an L-Dog,
right.
The one I had. You got to be, you the man. You know
right.
what I'm saying? They know you got money. And I paid cash for mine. So I came through there two-tone. Ray Charles had a blue, so I came through there. You know, I know everybody don't know who I was, so the police asked everybody in the neighborhood, who is Eli? They think Eli a grown man. They don't know Eli is 15 and a half years old, you know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
and so I pulled over, man, and I'm just trying to holler at the hood dude. And it's a dude that everybody's scared of. I'm not gonna say his name. And cause it's over with, you know, and I did that when I was young. But anyway, I got out, he told me, nigga, what you doing over here? I said, what you talking about? He said, what you doing over here? I said, what you talking about? He said, get on before I spit in your face. I said, you gonna spit in my face? You know, he's saying that in front of everybody. Everybody's scared of him. So I said, you gonna spit in my face? Okay, I'll be back. So I went and got my little brother. I said, man, dudes expect my little brother like, what is that? Come on, come on, come on. I said, come on, get in the car. And so when I pulled back over there, I should have just stayed gone. But I came over there. I'm thinking in my mind, if I don't check him, people gonna think I'm weak and want to rob me. So I came over there. I put a gun on. I said, what you say you gonna do to me? He still bucked the pistol. He was full of that whack. He said, oh, nigga, I take that gun from you. You a girl. Get on if I spit in your face. I said, walk up on me. And he walked up on me. I shot him 6 times. But I was trying to sell it to him through my brother. I tell my brother, man, you ain't got my brother. My brother like, man, give me the gun. I said, you ain't got to tell it. I really tried to sell it to him.
Right.
But he made me shoot him. So that's the worst mistake I made in my life. And so I ran, got scared. I'm like, man, I messed up. So a dope fiend, I said, man, hey, man, take this gun and get rid of it. Dope fiend didn't even get rid of it. So they ended up finding a gun and everything. And I didn't know no better. So
How old were
anyway,
you at this point?
I was like still 15 and a half,
15
and turned 16. So they're looking for me. I ended up going on clear. So the police, they started telling everybody in the South, y'all tell us where Eli at. We're going to let y'all sell dope. Boy, what they do that for? Them jokers, everybody snitching on me. Boom, everybody looking for me. They let them sell dope. They want me off the streets.
Right.
Then my brother killed somebody. But because I'm known as a drug dealer, when my brother killed somebody, instead of them saying his name, they said Lil Eli. So now I got the detectives looking for me. I got everybody looking for me.
Right.
Then my other brother killed somebody in Eau Clear.
These are all 3 of your brothers.
Yeah,
All 3 of your brothers.
right now. They don't bring up their name because they don't know them. They bring up my name because I'm in the street.
Right.
They just say Eli. So they thinking I'm Eli doing all this stuff. And my baby brother, he shoots somebody. All 4 of us police looking for, but they looking for me because I'm the one that's named out there.
Right.
He kicked my mama apart, man. And my mama like, baby, you gonna have to, them police said they gonna kill you. You gonna have to turn yourself in. I said, no, mama, they lying on me. I ain't do this and do that. She said, well, Alan just killed that boy. And I said, I know, Mom, I heard. I'm gonna find him. She said, they gonna kill y'all. So I went and found my brother. My brother, I see him on the street. I said, man, get in the car. He like, I said, get in the car. I said, what's up, man? I said, you killed somebody? He said, yeah. I said, man, you finna go to prison for the rest of your life, man. He said, man, the nigga robbed me. I said, I know, but you shouldn't have killed him, Adam. I said, you tripped out like that. And I said, no, I want you to chill. I'm gonna get your lawyer. He gets scared, turn himself in. But anyway, so they made a deal in Dallas. They looking for me. Boom. All the kids, I should give everybody money. All the kids in the hood. Man, I came through the hood. All the kids. Hey, Eli, all the kids. Police Jane looking for you. I said, who? He had your pictures. He told us to find you. I said, and call him. I said, Police James. So I ride around. I ain't like me. Everybody in the hood, all the kids, I give them money.
Right.
And they said, Police James looking for you. I said, dang, he looking for me for real. And so anyway, I never forget it. We was in Ewan State's apartment because I got out the South because I knew he was looking for me. I'm turned 17 now. We're at Ewan State's apartment. At this time, I'm like getting crazy money. Like I'm winning and gambling. I had so much money under my sister rug. on her ice box. I had butter everywhere. And she asked me one day, she said, where you getting all this money from? I said, I be winning, gambling, like that. She said, okay. She said, my husband don't want you bring no more money to the house. I said, okay. I said, don't listen to him. I said, just put it on the carpet. So I just put all her money, all them $100 bills under the carpet to the where the carpet started to, you could kind of fit it.
So
So
I'm up under there.
yeah, something under there. And so I end up, I know the police looking for me. So anyway, I was in Ewing State Department. This is how I got busted. They were looking for me. Somebody told them where I was. And one day they were surrounded. It's one way in Ewing State and one way out. So you got to remember, I brought the rolling 60 down here. We got Big Cat, Let Loose. We got all the 60s down here. The 60s ain't scared of Jamaicans, like some of our homeboy was. But the rolling 60s, they said, they punked Jamaicans and all that in California. So anyway, uh, I had sitting in them trap and somebody knocked on the door. I said, man, who was that? He said, man, it's a dude named Bill. He said he know you. And so when I opened the door, Bill, like by 6'4", Bill came in. He said, what's up, baby? What's up, Eli? I said, what's up? I said, you remember me? Man, yeah, man, just go my neighbor, Michelle, man. He on that dope. He forgot he punked me when I was about 13 in front of my girlfriend. So I ain't forgot about it. I said, my boy, I said, come here. I told my other boy, I said, man, I need to whoop this dude for me. He said, what's up? He a big old dope fiend. I said, I need to whoop him. Man, so my homeboy, he ended up fighting, but Dope Fiend Bill ended up getting the best of him. So he couldn't whoop Dope Fiend Bill. So I ended up had to get him too. So we click on him. He called out. So I'm thinking he called the police. So when they knock on the door, this time, like, boom, 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 man, it's police all over the apartment. And they looking for you. I said, what? He said, man, I think they finna come up here. But Bob, they didn't even know where I was. They just knew I was in the apartment.
Right.
Man, if I have never came out of the park, I'm talking about, I just felt I had to get out. It's a sideline fence that everybody go when the police come. Man, I came downstairs. I gave my money to my girl. I told her the money I be having. I said, wait right here, I'll be back. Man, I'm walking out. I put my hat down, walking out the park. Police everywhere. SWAT team everywhere. When I walk out, Police Jane is the one that's over there. He recognized me, man. I walk. He knew how I walked, and I was little. He said, Eli. I turned around. Man, if I hadn't said nothing, he might not even know that was me. I turned around and looked. Said, hold it, freeze. I called out. You gotta remember, I'm sagging. That joker clipped me, got me, pinned me up, put me in a police car. That's when
They finally got you.
they finally got me, man. My girl was crying.
I mean to cut you off, Bishop Eli. When you got to prison, what was your first initial feeling when you walked through them doors?
But before I went to prison, you gotta remember I was in the county jail. So I stayed in the government center. Government center ain't no joke.
Mm-hmm.
To me, government center worse than prison, but it depends on how you look at it. And so when I got there, those guys, they were saying like, you have to sit on the floor. You can't just get a bump. You got to remember, I used to box, so I already knew how to fight. I'm a Golden Glove fighter, so and I'm retarded too. So guys said, hey man, you can't, you got to sleep cause the jailhouse finished, full. I said, man, okay. I ain't paying no attention. I don't know no tank supposed to me or who speak up for the tank. I ain't care about none of that. So I put my commissary up there. He walked in there. He said, little man, ain't gonna tell you no more. And you put your commissary right here. All these dudes been up in here. You just can't come up here and get no bunk. I said, oh, you own the bunk? He said, yeah, I own the bunk. I said, oh, okay. I said, put my commissary. This joker grabbed my commissary. His jaw wide open. Like, he went down there and grabbed. I said, oh. boom, boom, hit him, knocked him smooth out. And so them dude like looking, I knocked the tank supposed him out. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't letting them, cause I box. I know your first leg count. And so I ain't give him no chance. Boom, 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 boom. He out. Boom. So they get him up. Boom, boom. Them dude looking like, no dude knocked him. Everybody scared of him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they pick him up. Boom. So I put my thing back up there. And so a couple my homeboy, what's up, little Eli? I said, oh, nothing, man. He said, you good? I said, yeah. So I put my stuff back up there. He ain't mess with me, so I got me a bump. Man, them dudes looking at me, they trying to figure out this little dude. He little, and he just whooped the tank spokesman. It's all over the government something. And so anyway, I'm still there for a minute. They switch me to this tank. I get on this tank, get into this dude. I get on another tank. It's another dude that's from the hood. He think he bad too.
Bishop Eli, what was your first initial feeling when you walked through those prison doors?
Man, when I walked to Telford, not Telford Union.
Beto.
No, they changed to a women, Hackleberry. They changed to a women unit now. Man, I didn't, nothing, it was like a first time unit. Right. And so one of my homeboys named Lord Nelson, he talking crazy to this big old dude, and he ain't had no hand. So the dude told him, shut up. I said, hey, man, you don't tell cause we 17, we both young. And I said, you don't tell them to shut up like that. He said, who are you, little old? I said, don't worry about it. So dude walked around, I catch my stealing. Boom, boom, boom. I drop him. The Lord said, oh, my nigga got them hands. My nigga got them hands. And so I drop him. And what I do that for? That's what my life changed. Man, I left from a good unit where you ain't got to work in the field now. It's some in the Ferguson. This is when it
Ferguson
real.
after the Hackleberry?
Yeah, I stay on Hackleberry.
They had a unit in Ferguson, ain't it?
Yeah, I went to they call it the gladiator unit. Yeah. When we call it. So I get to Ferguson. Everybody said, you don't want to go to Ferguson, you don't want to go to Cofield at that time.
You know who Joe is out of Fort Worth? JoJo?
JoJo.
Was Joe in Ferguson? Was he in?
I don't know no JoJo.
Terrible.
No, I don't know JoJo. JoJo didn't have no name. So when I went to Ferguson, you had 75, you had Terry Elwood, you had Sway, you had Big Forehead, you had some dude that had been with them 20 of them, Jack Johnson, you had Lil Mingo out of Houston, you had Howard Smith. Oh man, these guys, they see this video, they'll tell you, these guys out of Houston and out of Dallas, these guys, they was gunslingers. You had L.B. Molina, you had Steve Wood out of Fort Worth, Steve Wood. I mean, you had some guys that had some.
This on Ferguson.
This on Ferguson.
How did Ferguson get the name Gladiator?
It been like that before I got there. They've been gunslingers for. That's where they seen you when you don't act right. But I wasn't a bad act. I was young, didn't know no better. So when I hit the Ferguson, when I first got there, I didn't have no hair on my arm, no hair on my face. Didn't even have no hair on my balls. And so when I walked through there, they thought I was a 12-year-old kid. And so I never forget it. A dude named Bus out of Oak Cliff, my homeboy out of Carry On. And so we go through the shower. Dude walked through that naked. When you go through the shower, everybody naked. We got our matches, we got our towel, boom, boom. Dude walk up, where you from? Like that. Some of them dudes that I came now, they scared, about to piss on themselves. I mean, you got to remember from South. That I done got beat up before, stole. I done growed up, boxing. So there's no fear in us because the way we raised. So dude walk up. He said, little nigga, where you from? I said, I'm from the South, the sunny side. Why? So don't get smart. Then Bus said, hey, hold up, man. This my little homie, because Buster been in penitentiary before. I said, Bus, you ain't got to speak up for me. I'm good. Like that. He said, no, little homie, it's a lot of game in here. Ain't, you my little homie. I said, no, I'm good. I'm good. I promise you I'm good. And so you got to remember, these dudes stocky. I'm just coming out the world fresh and they big on, back then you wear you wear your shirt off, and when we went to penitentiary, now you can't wear your shirt. These dudes look like gorillas. So I walked through there. They put me on G-Wing. Never forget it. I get over there, I see some of the guys that I growed up with from the South. I ain't seen in years. I ain't know they was in penitentiary. I thought they was dead. And so dude said, look, Eli, say, little homeboy, this how this go. They trying to give me the game. You from the South, right? I said, yeah, your homeboy, big forehead, them, they all want to meet you on the yard. I said, a forehead, kind of forehead had killed police back then. And so, but everybody talk about me in the hood, but he kind of running the unit from the South on his ring. So he asked me to come to the yard. So anyway, somebody broke in my locker. And I'm like, messed up about it, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know the penitentiary game. I went to commissary. I get back from the child house. Somebody already went in my locker and got my commissary. And so I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm 17. I'm grown, but I'm not grown. Right. I'm tearly eyes, but I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? So man, so my homeboy said, "What's up?" I said, "Man, somebody stole my commissary." And my homeboy Jackson, he gonna say, "Man, we gonna find out. We done it, man. Don't mess with my homeboy." I said, "Man." I said, "You gonna help me?" He said, "Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm whooping like that." Man, I'm running around looking for my commissary. So I tell Forehead said, "Meet me on the yard." So I tell Forehead, I said, "Forehead, man, somebody stole my commissary." He said, "Little homeboy, don't worry about it. I'll find out, all right?" He said, "Don't worry about it. You good?" He said, "I heard you was having money in the world." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, man, everybody talk about y'all, man. I hear y'all out there getting Anthony Ray Charles, he talking about all of them." I said, "Yeah, we out here, we was getting it." He said, "I heard you was getting it. I heard you was getting it." I said, "I was doing a little something." And he said, "Well, chill. I'll find out." Man, he called me and told me the Negro that said he gonna help me is the one that stole my commissary. My homeboy from the hood is the one stole my commissary. So I get on the tank. I said, "Thank you, man." He said, "Nah, I'll get with him. I'll deal with him or make him give you commissary back." I said, "Nah, I'm good." So I get back to the tank. I said, "Jackson, what's up, baby?" He said, "What's up, man? Man, we gonna find out whoever got your commissary." I said, "Man, they say you got my commissary." I said, "Man, get my commissary, brother. Get my commissary." "Man, what you talking about, man?" I said, "Hey, man, get my commissary, bro." They said, "You got my commissary." "Man, I don't know what you're talking about. You my little homeboy." I said, "Jack, get my commissary, man." Like that. That nigga acting like he playing dumb. I steal him. Pow. Pow, 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 pow. And I whooped that nigga. They said, fight, fight. They ended up sending me the D block. And so I ended up going to D block.
Let me ask you this, Bishop Eli. What was it like sharing the day room with the Mexicans?
Oh man, when I got there, Bob, I was in a different world. Coming from the world to prison. I know the Mexicans sat on one side, white boys right here, black right here. We got our TV, they got their TV. So I realized, man, I'm in another world, man, where the blacks don't talk to the Mexicans, the Mexicans don't talk to the black. Whites, they just go where they decide to trade them. You had a few little white guys that, Aryan Brotherhood, about 10 of them that kind of stand out, but I was looking at it, man, we're in another jungle. And so while I was on Ferguson, I realized that something got to change, I noticed that the blacks, we didn't stick together because there's more of us. It was like 6% black.
You ever been in a race ride before in there?
Oh man, too many. And
what is that like?
well, one time we was in a ride, and before we got in the ride, one of my homeboy out of Houston jacked off on a Mexican.
You say he did what?
Jacked off on a Mexican.
What you mean jacked off?
Looked at his booty in the shower and jack off on him. That's what
Hey, man.
It's true.
Yeah, that's they laugh what I'm saying.
Yeah, he did that, and he jacked off on him. And so the Mexican wanted to get revenge. So when we got ready to try to talk to him, they didn't want to, when Mexicans don't speak English, that means no bargain, no plea bargain. So it was me, uh, 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 Terry Elwood, I don't know if Rambo was there. I think Rambo was over there too, Charles Rambo. All of us, I think, was on the ring together. But me and Terry went try to talk to the Mexican. But the Mexicans don't want to do no talk. That means they ready to do what they do. So
Right.
I said, hey man, we'll diss him, the guy that jacked off, named Jeff, that's his name. We'll diss him and we'll get him ourselves, but we don't want y'all to mess with him. And so, but they didn't want to do that. So uh lunchtime, it was 25 Mexicans and about 12 blacks. Rest of the blacks, they was they was in at the gym. So when they was at the gym playing basketball, the Mexicans, they always get us when in that men us in the day room. Man, they all of them had knives. So I seen where it finna go down. So I told them, dude, I said, listen, this is what's gonna happen. We finna be in a riot. I said, but what we're gonna have to do, I need everybody to stand beside your gunslinger. Matter of fact, all the gunslingers had to be in the day room.
The gunslingers, the knives, you got the knives, right?
They got knives, but black, we had hands.
Okay.
And you know, I hear people say hands can't out whoop a knife. And the reason why blacks didn't carry a knife, because you get caught with a knife, you get more time.
Right.
But you had some, the MW, they kept knife, they old school. We young, we feel like our hands can get us by. And so anyway, Bob, I ain't gonna lie. I know a lot of people may trip. They hear a pastor telling this stuff, but we ain't glorified. He interviewed my past. Yeah, he interviewed my past. But anyway, so the Mexican, I had my homeboy next to me with a D. We had hands. So one thing I learned in prison, anybody that's a coward or got a knife, they see you jump, they gonna get bolder. So when they used to come, I used to be like waiting on them. When they try to do that, I catch them, boom, boom. I ain't run from them, you know what I'm saying? So when they come, I'm catching, boom, overcame, boom, boom, I'm catching, boom, boom. I don't care. I was just good. Good with my hands. So when they come, boom, boom. Another mess coming, boom, boom, boom. So the brother started running. When you start running, you throw people off. They scared and you can't, I said, hey man, stop running. I'm trying to fight and catch this dude, tell him stop running, because you're gonna get somebody killed.
Right.
And so Ian gets stuck in the neck. And I never forget it, man. He lands next to me and he like trying with blood just getting out. He like, man, he looked at me like, I said, dang, they got him in the neck. And man, he was dead, bro. And but we still fighting on blood there, blood everywhere. And blood all on my pants. But we got to keep fighting. They shoot the gas. And man, they lock us down. They put me in SIG, bro. They lied on me, bro. And they told people I'm the one that kicked a ride, citing a ride. That's when everybody started spreading rumors on me.
How long were you locked up? Like total?
I was locked up total 15 years. Well, 17 years. Did 2 the first time, then I did 40. And I had got 40.
What's this? I watched the interview that you did on 607 with Gumby and Kunta, and you said something about having some kids in prison.
Oh well, kid. That word kid mean but like you protect somebody. Like that's my kid. That's my child. I'm protecting them. This is my kid. Like we have kids, which mean that I put them under my arm and say nobody touch them. The kid don't mean you screwing them as your boyfriend. Right. You mean you knocking them out. Kid mean you under my wing. Nobody mess with you.
Right.
So, but I protect you by you giving me commissary. Some people take kids and set them. They set them, or they let somebody have sex with them, and they pay them commissary, like bag of coffee, 2 bags of coffee, get you some. 2 bags of coffee get you killed back then too. It's crazy. Right. 2 bags of
2 bags of coffee.
Coffee get you killed in penitentiary, and it's crazy, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And but 2 bags coffee get you some butt too, and it's crazy. And so,
oh man,
and this is where it was. And
pick up the Bible.
Nah, I ain't pick up the Bible then.
Not talking about in prison at all. You
I ain't pick up the Bible then. I thought people that was in the Bible was using for protection. I ain't pick up the Bible till later on while I was in prison when my mama got cancer. And so, but at that time I was young. I wasn't thinking about no Bible. I ain't thinking about no Bible. I'm a young, throwed off cat, So what made me pick up the Bible is that one day they was gamming. Now I'm in penitentiary. My name is ringing. I done did a lot. I done bust folks in the head. I done set up organization where the blacks stick together. I done got into penitentiary. Now I'm in the valley now. I'm fully developed in it now. And so as I got about 21, I started to change things, sagging, doing different things. And so what made me really get involved is to survive. I started to notice that if we don't stick together as blacks, the mess is gonna get the best of us. It's different from one-on-one, but if they come and get, so I told all the blacks I had a meeting. I ain't care you was a Crip, I don't care you was a Blood, I don't care you was a MW, I don't care you was the Bad Boys, out of Dallas. I told everybody on the yard, I said, listen, this is how we gonna do this. If we get caught up in riot, everybody get out. I don't care if you're a Muslim, I don't care if you're a Christian, you got to get out. If you don't, when we come up off lockdown, we gonna deal with you. And so a couple guys we got in riots, a couple guys didn't get in. So when I came up lockdown, I jumped on them. I had them jump, we got them. And so people realized, hey man, you don't get out, we gonna get you. And so anyway, I end up doing that. I find myself caught up in the system. So one day, my mama came to visit. This is how I came to God. I can't tell you all the story.
right.
I got caught up in all kind of things in prison, from dealing with the guards and everything. And so, I was 21. My mama came to visit me, and she said, I was on Michael unit. She said they had shipped me, and I said, hey mama. She said, hey baby, you good? I said, yes ma'am. She said, I'm not gonna be home when you get there. And I said, what you mean, mama? She said, I got cancer. And I said, what is cancer? She said, it's hurt, and I'm ready to go weep the Lord. So I told my mama, I said, mama, tell the Lord, if he don't take you from me, I serve him. And she said, no, baby, it don't work that way. She said, but I need you to promise mama something. I said, what's that? She said, promise mama, you gonna stop fighting. I said, Mama, what you mean stop fighting? She said, everybody getting out the penitentiary, baby. They telling me you don't want to go home, and you down here fighting. And John, when you stay over there by us, she said, he told me you down here showing out from these guys, and you trying to run the penitentiary. And I said, Mama, I ain't trying to run no penitentiary, Mama. She said, promise Mama, you're going to stop fighting, because everybody's saying the same thing, baby. Everybody just get out. They say, you down here doing this, you doing that. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, promise mama, you're going to get out of here. I said, Mom, I got 40 years. She said, I know, baby, God can do anything. Promise mama, you're going to get out of prison. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, promise mama one more thing. I said, what's that? Promise mama, you're going to take care of your son and give your life to God. I said, yes, ma'am. How you give your life to God? Because I ain't know what that means.
Right.
She said, I need you to pray with me. So she held my hand. She said, Lord Jesus. I said, Lord Jesus, I believe that you died for my sin and rose from the dead, and I shall be saved. So I did that for her. She said,
Right.
she said, you're going to be a preacher one day. And I said, what's a preacher, Mama? Because I didn't know what that was. And she said, God going to use you. And so that point on, man, I was like blown. Because my mom, you got to remember, my mom was in a gown coming out the hospital. She drove from Michael, left the hospital, unplugged herself to come see me. And I can't believe they let her in a unit, because you had to have ID, but they let my mama in there. And my mom died the next day, man. And man, it messed me up. So now, this where I went. I lost it. I lost it for about 2 years, 3 years. Even though I gave my life to God, to her, but I didn't know what that meant. You know what I'm saying? I just did it for my mom.
Thank you for that, Bishop Eli. Rest in peace to your mom. We're gonna swing somewhere else real fast.
Okay.
We're gonna lighten up the room. These last two questions I got for you.
Okay.
Matter of fact, we're gonna do this one first. What's your?
Let me turn this up. My wife calling me.
Okay.
Baby, I gotta call you back a minute, very. Go ahead.
What's your quarrels with OG Percy?
What's my what?
Your quarrel, your issue. What you and Percy got going on, man?
Well, OG person. I met the brother at
What you call him?
the brother.
OG Person?
OG person, that's his name?
Percy.
Percy. Whatever the name is. I met him at I met this brother at why you laughing?
Hey, y'all, Jay, man.
But I met him at the Blue Couch.
Right.
I see him telling the testimony, and I'm like, who this dude say he on Ferguson? I don't know him. And then if he from Ferguson, he got to know me because I set the blueprint on Ferguson.
Right.
And so I just wanted to meet him, not trying to, I was just shocked that some of the stuff he was saying on Ferguson. And he was saying like he was an OG over there, but Crips and Blood didn't run Ferguson. You run in your hood, in prison, in no game. No Crips and Blood run prison, not in Texas. Now, we've been there before y'all got there. It wasn't no gang when I was on prison. And so we didn't have that. I remember when the Crips and the Blood came in. And so they didn't run the prison. But anyway, I just listened to him, and I listened to some of his story. I asked him, do you know Courtney? I raised Courtney. I taught Courtney how to box. I taught Kuta how to box. I taught all of them, because every day we rock.
Taught who?
Kuta.
Kunta?
Kunta.
OG Kunta?
I taught it.
Crazy Kunta?
Man.
Gumby Kunta?
Yeah.
Speaking of that, hold on, Bishop, hold on. Speaking of that. In Vegas.
Yeah.
The OG Kunta, OG Gumby, 607
Yeah.
the Bob Report, and Bishop Eli. I need to get your take on that.
Well, it was good. Then I seen later on, they took us home. They were trying to, have their little flaws. But I didn't understand how Kuta ended up leaving there and start, have some type of emotion behind what Gummy said. Because y'all know how y'all play with these little old cameras and this content y'all call. And I was like, why are you mad at? Because y'all looked like y'all had peace when we left. We was cool. I guess, because I told Kuta, hey, man, I need you to chill Gummy. All right. I like the way Gummy was trying to bring peace. And I'm a peacemaker by me being a pastor. But I said, I don't understand how y'all tripping when y'all was at peace. But I think that when you see the internet, people start saying Gummy check Kuta, but Gummy didn't check Kuta. He's just trying to get some understanding. He was mad at the dude L.A. Ron.
Did you fear for your life?
What? Man, stop all that. I don't fear men. I don't fear them for what? I got to die one day. I ain't fearing them. I'm saved, man. I don't fear no man. Them guys is how I think about gang. I might make them mad. I don't think nobody that's in the gang, I don't look at them as a man. So that's just how I feel about a man standing alone.
Let me ask you this, Bishop, before we get out of here. This is just part one with Bishop Eli and the Bible Report. It's just part one, y'all. But if Kunta and Gumby would have started fighting,
I felt sorry for Gummy.
You feel sorry for Gumby?
Yeah, he got to have a weapon. Gumby said he ain't coming to fight no way. He said boys fight, men kill. So he let you know he ain't doing no. He got some sense. I wouldn't let them fight no more. Gummy, Kuta respect me on a whole nother level.
Right.
He know I was down there. We're not gonna do that. I didn't come down here for that. I came down there to speak to the people, hoping that my testimony would change some young dude that think he's a gangster, and something I can say can change his life to let him know. It's a lot of studio gangster, but but.
But what about you and your boy 607
I love 607
Okay.
That's my baby. Just being honest.
He one of your kids?
No, I ain't my kid, man. 607 listen, y'all don't like 607 that's y'all. I know he do some spooky stuff and go look and all crazy, but in heart, he a good guy. I love 607 607 Unc joined my church. So I know people like, he joined your church, he talked that devil stuff, he be doing witchcraft. Well, he used to do a whole lot of stuff, but he understands Jesus. He know Jesus the reason for the season. Don't let him fool you. And some of you preachers that be judging folks, Jesus went where sinners was. A real preacher go to the hood and go out there to the highways and byways. So you can be religious, you can't help nobody like 607 Unc. But 607 Unc, he listened to me. After the cameras and we sat down and dialogue, the word, he asked me some questions, tough questions, but the word weigh out everything. I love 607 Unc, just being I hate when people try to buck him and try to punk him, but that lets you know 607 Unc ain't trying to be no gangster. So anybody try to buck him, try to punk him, you really soft, because anybody can fight on a child, but it take a man, buck a real man. So 607 just be doing stuff, but all you gangsters that be trying to, get some points off of him, you really soft, to be honest. A real man turn the other cheek, but he ain't trying to do that, man. We trying to make peace. We ain't on this. I ain't on here to try to prove how tough I am. I ain't tough. I just want to hope that my testimony help you. Ain't nothing tough about me.
Bishop, before we get out of here, can you we got a few minutes. Can you lead us off with a prayer?
Man, that's cool. Yeah, that's good. Heavenly Father, we love you. We thank you for your grace. We thank you for being Jehovah. We pray, God, that this airway, Bob, God, that you open doors that no man can close, that it can touch lives, touch young men's lives that's locked up, young men that's unfocused, God, young men and young ladies, God, who have allowed the enemy to trick them. But God, give us the ability to know you for ourselves. Let us have an understanding, your word and your voice. Let us not be deceived by the enemy. Let us not be deceived by man. But God, I pray the same power that raised Jesus from the dead, the same power will raise up that son, that daughter that raised me up, and give them the ability to know you for themselves. Let them not be labeled by people, ideas, and their thoughts. But God, reveal your power to them, the same power that you revealed to me. And God, forgive us if we have said or did anything that's not like you, God. But most of all, God, show us your son and his glory. Let us get atonement for our sin, that we may see your face one day. In Jesus' mighty name, God, have your way and bless this broadcast, God, like no other. And God, I even pray for Chopper, God. Bless him because he's trying to seek you, God, and they did not recognize and they did not have the right words to give him. But God, somehow, God, let me connect with that brother where I can give him the true word of God. And we come to some understanding to find out who's telling the truth. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. You are now tuned into the Bob Report.